Now, my prayer wasn't working because I wasn't working. I used it to hide. And a lot of men don't pray, not because they don't believe in God, but because prayer feels like exposure, not safety. And for many men, prayer isn't a habit. It's one of those haunting mirrors, right? Not because God isn't listening, but because we're afraid of what he might say back. We're conditioned to solve, to suppress, to stay strong. So when prayer starts peeling back those layers, man, most of us flinch and we say, God, fix it. But the thing is, we really don't want to face it. We say, God, give me peace. But we won't release the habits that keep us anxious. We want transformation, but we use prayer like a spiritual escape room instead of an invitation to obedience. The thing is, the less men pray, the more emotionally numb we become. And that numbness it doesn't just disconnect us from God. It disconnects us from our wives, our children, our purpose, our friends and family, and even ourselves. You know, we don't need more strong men. We need more men who are healed. And that healing starts when we stop hiding behind prayer and start partnering with it. I mean, I was that one saying, God, fix it. I wasn't willing to face it. I wasn't willing to face what he was trying to reveal. I was treating prayer like that spiritual escape room, right? The more I prayed without action, the more numb I became, until one day I wasn't even sure if I was talking to God or just venting into the void. And that's the scary part, because I started confusing comfort with connection. I was praying for peace, but ignoring the habits keeping me anxious. I prayed for purpose while staying attached to the things God told me to let go of. And my prayers became my hiding place, a way just to talk to God without really confronting myself. And then the shift came when one of my boys said, look, you ever notice you pray like you're submitting a complaint? It was crazy. Instead of having a conversation, and that's the cold part, right? Because that's what we typically do. I mean, we pray and we go. We don't stay in the moment. We don't allow God to speak back. But anyway, that's really when it hit me. I wasn't listening, and so prayer isn't just speaking; it's surrendering. It's not just asking God to move, but it's being still long enough to obey, right? He just doesn't show you a sign to start ignoring every red flag. You're like, God, just show me a sign. And then all of a sudden you ignore every red flag. I mean, praying for wisdom with headphones in, falling asleep mid-prayer with the Bible on your chest, right? I mean, how do we do that? I've done that multiple times where, I mean, just reading his word, though, it does bring comfort, but also you got to posture yourself in a position where you can actually pray and listen. I mean, especially when I listened, I had, listen to this. I had the prayer routine, but not that listening posture, like I said. And when you go back to James 1:22, where it talks about, don't just listen to the word, do what it says. It's one of those things where I kept mistaking that delay for discernment. He had already answered, but I just didn't like the answer. And once I started listening, really listening, that's when God began to shift, not just my circumstances, but my spirit. And so here are three things right here that you can actually do. Journal after every prayer. Why? Most men don't process what they're praying. They just speak and move on. And this is how you're going to implement it. You know, after praying, just write down what you felt, what thoughts came up, and what resistance you actually noticed. And ask, what might God be trying to reveal in this moment? Because you know the outcome is that he'll help you build that self-awareness and create that space for reflection and obedience. Number 2, replace fix-it prayers with search me prayers. I know many of us, man, we pray for God to change the situation without inviting him to change our hearts. But when we reflect on Psalm 139, 23, and 24, as that daily anchor, where we actually tell God to search me. When we say, search me, God, and know my heart. Now you're surrendering and you're allowing God to actually come in and change. And trust me, you knock down that barrier, he's going to make some changes. But you know what? He's going to start healing from the inside out. People are going to recognize that. So before we start asking God to move externally, ask him to reveal what needs to shift internally. Because this is going to help you move from avoidance to accountability. And number 3, create that prayer habit tracker. Man, you talk about purpose, right? Because it says faith without works is dead, but prayer must lead to movement. Prayer must lead to movement. You just think about, for every major prayer request, when you start writing down these small obedient steps beside it, man, your prayer life is going to change. I mean, now you're going to start noticing your intuitiveness and being able to discern and hear God speak. You're going to start moving. Your confidence is going to be up. Your relationship's going to change. And check this out. Imagine if you should start praying for a better health, right? All of a sudden, you're just going to start prepping. Your meal prep is going to be on point. Review that journal weekly and reflect on the progress. Because I guarantee you're going to begin to experience that prayer as a partnership, not performance. Because you're going to start experiencing prayer as a partnership, not performance. And so if your prayers feel like it's just been bouncing off, so if your prayer feel like you've just been bouncing off walls and ceilings, maybe God is waiting for you to stop talking and start aligning. And if you like this video, comment below what's one thing God's been saying to you and that you've been avoiding. Let's stop hiding behind prayers and start healing through them. Because that's when your obedience comes. He wills, why not you?